Hi and welcome to another episode of Vixicon. I hope you're all doing really well and you're having a fantastic time. It is actually sunny here for once in England, which I'm really hyped about. So I'm gonna a bit barefaced because I am heading straight out into my garden after I'm done here. I know I was supposed to record this Friday night, but I didn't get home till like 9 o'clock last night. So yeah, we had to cancel that. So daytime filming, a little bit of a light difference, which is nice. So, yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. So I've had some stuff going on. If you saw my story the other day, you will know that I can't really talk about it. But there's been some stuff going on, which has taken up a lot of my time and also a lot of my energy. And then also, like, I just genuinely wasn't inspired to say anything. Normally, when I do the podcast, I generally like have an inspiration idea, and then that's where the title comes from, and then the flow comes from there. But it just wasn't happening this time. So when I was driving to the studio the other day, I thought to myself, I should just come on and just chat. And what the universe downloads to my brain, it downloads to my brain, and I will tell you. So yeah, right, oh, hang on, so I've got my phone case on my lap because it doesn't fit in my camera stand with it on. Well, it's less the case at the problem and more like the dangly bit on the end, like the beads that I wrap around my wrist. As my friend Sam calls them, my anal beads. That is not what they are for. She's funny though. I love her. So yeah, the last thing we talked about was shadow work. So if you did do that, you may be feeling some kind of way about a lot of people right now, some of whom may still be in your life, which is tricky to deal with 100%, because you just kind of want to rage at them. But the rage is not really going to do any good. All you can really do with those feelings is kind of flip them into something productive. Anger has its place in this life. I have a terrible temper, if we're really honest. It's taken me a long time to kind of get to this point of inner peace. But my main thing is I don't usually get mad at stuff that I have no control over. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Just eating breakfast. Anyway, so yeah, things I have no control over. So the other day, for instance, if you did see my stories, you will know that I went to IKEA for the other business, and there was a blade in my tyre when I came out. It was so flat, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I've just spent all my money in IKEA, and now we're off to the tyre shop. But I didn't get mad. I was just like, ugh, annoying, but let's go and deal with it, because, well, nothing else was really going to solve that problem, was it? I could have, like, lost my temper on the car park and stomped and raged and kicked my flat tyre and yada, yada, yada. But it wouldn't make my tyre any less flat. It wouldn't have magicked a new tyre on there. Like, the only thing to do was try and pump it up, which thankfully the blade was blocking enough was in there, wedged enough that it took air from my, what's it called? I'd call it a tyre poofer, but I know it has a proper name, okay? That you plug it in and it blows up your tyre. Anyway, so I did that, and luckily there was enough to get me to the tyre place, and I got the tyre fixed, and like half an hour later, back on the road. So yeah, do you see what I mean? Like, that anger in that situation would have been pointless. And anger with these people who have upset you when you've done your shadow work, it's kind of pointless being angry with them as well. I really do really I really vibe with the phrase, the best revenge is a life well lived, because that is so freaking true. Because when you get like angry and vengeful and stuff like that, it's not good for your soul, first of all. It brings a lot more negativity into your life. I've always maintained, if you are a negative person, negative things will come into your life. I mean, negative things come to all of us, but more will come to the pessimist, the negative thinker. That's just natural. That's why they think that way. It's cyclical anyway. And now I forgot my point. Oh my God, perimenopause jail, stop stealing my thoughts. Oh, my ladies of a certain age will be understanding this right now. I've really lost that train. Never mind. But yeah, anger. I think we talked about anger, and it has its place. Sometimes it is good. Sometimes it keeps you safe. in a dangerous situation, that fight or flight thing, that, that's keeping you safe there. But save it for when it's needed. Myself personally, if I get angry, I actually get exhausted because my temper is so all-encompassing. I genuinely need a nap afterwards because it's just too much. So I don't even ever want to feel like that. So, like I say, I save my anger for the times. I don't save the times there's sometimes I lose my shit. And it's normally with good reason. Let's say that. Perhaps somebody is trying to be hurtful to somebody I love. I don't stand for that nonsense. So yeah. But general stuff that kind of, would ruin somebody else's day. It's just something I roll with. You just gotta roll with it. Like I said, if that anger is not going to change the situation, it is utterly pointless. All it is doing is expending your energy and ruining your mindset to really annoying things that nobody needs. And this happens to me quite a lot. People are quite shocked about it, especially if they're with me, and especially if they've known me a long time as well, because if they remember the Vix of 20 years ago, the Vix who would, step to a 6-foot man outside the pub, drinking Vicky was not a good person. I don't really deal with alcohol. We might talk about that in a minute. But I'd pop off at the slightest thing. I don't know how I wasn't just asleep all the time. It's insane, but that was just how I was. And now it just, so say people who knew me back then and then are witness to stuff happening to me now, they're suspicious. But it's just a waste of energy. I've just learned where to put my energy. The good places the energy needs to go, and the bad places the energy needs to go. Sometimes you do have to get angry. Sometimes, there are people in your life who are perhaps hurting themselves, hurting other people, and the nicey nice approach isn't going to work. So that's a good use of it there. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to tell people for their own benefit. I wouldn't recommend doing it all the time because it's not going to make you any friends, but sometimes that's what it comes to. We're going to circle around back a little bit to alcohol as well. I do not really drink alcohol. I would count myself as a non-drinker. Occasionally I will, celebration. I may have an inch of champagne in the bottom of a glass to just do a little cheers. If I'm on holiday, I'll have a small beer because a small beer in the sunshine is quite nice. Predominantly I only deal with alcohol when I'm actually poorly. If I've got really bad flu or something and a really sore throat, I will have hot toddies and stuff. I use it more as a medicinal thing, mostly because I don't think it's good for people's energies. Now, that's not me judging you. If you like a drink, that is up to you. But for me personally, it muddies up my energy so much. It brings out a side to me that I don't enjoy. Other people certainly don't enjoy her. And somebody said to me recently about it's kind of, a lot of alcohols are brewed in the dark and it has a dark energy to it. And I was like, that's really interesting. Fermentation and stuff like that, rot, and it's an interesting thing to consume in one's body. And it makes certain people behave appallingly, including myself, which is why I don't do it. But so if you're struggling with your mindset and you are drinking a couple of glasses of wine a night, maybe think about trading it in for something else, just to see. I'm not saying doing it forever, but do a little experiment. There are a few people I know who have quit drinking over the last couple of years for various reasons. Some of them because they needed to, some of them in support of other people in their lives who needed to, and they wouldn't go back now. They feel healthy and well, and their mindset is much improved. So yeah, that's just something for you to think about. If you're struggling with your shadows, I highly would not recommend drinking because, oh dear, that is not going to end well. Working on shadows while you are drunk, just don't do that. That is a dangerous mix, my friends, a dangerous mix. And if you are going to do that, put your phone somewhere you're not going to find it, because it's just going to end badly. Oh, sorry, I've lost I keep losing my train of thoughts. My God, doing this in the morning apparently is really messing with my vibe, but never mind. with your shadows and stuff, if you aren't at the angry point and you are at the vessel filling point, because that's where I want you to be, you remove all these shadows, you clear them out so you can put the correct things in, the correct things about you, the correct things about who you are, and the things you want to change about who you are. So, that's pretty awesome, really. And if you don't know what to fill your vessel with, you can listen to me, because I have plenty of ideas for that. It's do things that are gonna make you be more comfortable with the new you. If you've done a lot of shadow work on like bullying and things like that, you might be experiencing some odd, disconcerting feelings of confidence, which is unusual. But roll with it. See who the new you is, test them out, take them out in different scenarios. You may find so many things about you have changed completely. My shadow work, it's taken me away from the world. I used to feel like I had to be places and do things, and like FOMO was real. And I realised actually that was really bad for my energy. I was in a lot of spaces I didn't need to be, and spaces that weren't good for me, just because society said that you should be outside doing stuff. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do anything. This is something that's really, really important, right? You literally only have to do things that keep you alive. So eating, sleeping, breathing oxygen. Everything else is fucking optional. You hearing that? Everything else is literally fucking optional. It's a big thought, but it's true. It's literally true. You don't have to go to your job tomorrow. I mean, it's probably a smart idea because you've got like bills and stuff to pay, but you don't have to go. Nobody's going to shoot you in the head if you don't go to work tomorrow. If you want to sell your house and move into a van, just because people say that you should live in a house doesn't mean you have to. Just because it's the normal thing to do. The normal thing, that makes me so what is normal? Normal is subjective. In my other life, I own a body piercing studio. My normal is stabbing people and shoving my hands in their noses and ears. Normal is subjective. Don't look out at society, what is going on in society, and what the status quo is trying to get you to do is absolutely not to your benefit in any way, especially if you are a woman. These things of like marriage and children and, giving up on your own dreams and wants for the greater good of the family, that is not good for you. There are women I know of my age who are having a bad time right now because they have realised they have built a life that is entirely for other people. Imagine how horrendous that is. You've lived over half your life and you've realised everything you've built, none of it's for you. It's for your kids, it's for your partner, it's so they can do everything they want to do. And in the meantime, you're not doing anything you want to do. And God forbid, should you decide that you do want to do that, there may be a lot of judgment, a lot of anger, a lot of, discontent after that, because people are so used to you being their energy source. If this is something that resonates with you, again, you need to go back and do some shadow work on this, because you've got to get out. You've got to get out of that. This is your life. Yes, okay, you've taken on responsibilities, but that is not the be all and end all. That is not who you are. I see this such a lot in my other business. Women coming to me and they're like, oh my God, I think I'm having like a midlife crisis. And they're not having a midlife crisis in any way, shape or form. All they are doing is remembering who they used to be. It's normally, around the time when their children perhaps have started school, they're out of the house a little bit more. They've got a bit more time to think to themselves. It's not all just go, 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 go. And they're like, hang on, I used to be awesome. I used to be cool. I used to have piercings. I used to be cool. Like, what the hell happened? And this happens to so many women. Just what? Like, they wake up one day, what the hell happened? And I don't want this for you guys. even if it's already happening, you can stop it. You can stop this at any point. Like I said, it might upset some people around you, but they either get on board or they get the hell out, because that is how we are rolling now. We are one of the first generations of women to have so many choices, and we owe it to our foremothers to live those choices out as big as possible. If you don't know me, I am 43 years old this summer, and I have no children. I've never had a husband. I have had a couple of long-term relationships, one that was 10 years, one that was 8 years. So, I mean, in my mind, those are basically marriages, because we all know marriages that have lasted a lot less time than that. And I am done. I am done. And I mean, I was with some really lovely guys. You know, I'm friends with all my exes. They're all fabulous people. But it was even like on a subconscious level, we were just getting towards that sort of everybody using my brain, which is exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting. What's for dinner? Where are my socks? Is it my mum's birthday? Like, I don't want to deal with any of that. And a lot of people think that it's weird. And a lot of people think that I'm very selfish. And I admit it is both weird and selfish, but that doesn't bother me in the slightest, because I am happy, which is something that was not afforded to a lot of our community in history. We just kind of had to get on with a husband and get on with lives and put a plaster of a smile on the shit show. And we don't have to do that. So take advantage of that. You know, whether you are young and you're like, yep, I'm going to end up like that, or whether you're a little bit older and you've realised that's what's happened to you, but you're going to take charge and you're going to make changes. Do it. Do it. We are only here on this planet for this lifetime once. I don't want you all to get to your deathbeds and realise you've not done anything that you wanted to do. It's really important that you listen to me on this. You can't live for everybody else. Start to live for yourself. And I can't stress that enough. If you want to travel, go and travel. You know, Im indoors will be all right with the kids for a week. It's fine. My colleague actually does that. She's got a lovely little family, but she travels regularly with her friends, without the children, without the partner, because that's important to her, and he's a good man. So, you know, that's fabulous. You know, if you want to learn something, enroll in university. You don't have to go to classes every day. You can do open university. I don't know if there's similar things worldwide, but in the UK we could do something called the Open University, and you work from home at your own pace, get yourself a degree. How awesome would that be? You know, you can do so much. Get your nose pierced, get a tattoo, dye your hair pink. Do what feels good for you. I think we're going to wrap it up there, because honestly, I'm looking at the time and I'm like, I've been going for nearly 18 minutes. I don't even really know what I've said to you people. I've just kind of gone for it. But like I said at the beginning, that was the plan. So this may be an episode you really dislike, maybe an episode you really enjoy. I don't know. That's not really my business, whether you like it or not. I'm just here telling people what I think is important, because I enjoy my life. I am one of the few people I know who really does enjoy their life, and I want you guys to enjoy your lives too. So I am just here telling you my nonsense, telling you how I work, how my programming is, just so you can be like, yeah, I want a bit of that. You know, just, yeah, that's all it is. And so hopefully this helps. But have an awesome week. I don't know how long this will take to go online, because I am at home, and as we all know, the internet signal here is shit. There was one time it took over 24 hours to upload to YouTube, which was absolutely smashing. So yeah, when this is online, I hope you like it. If you don't, go watch something else. See you later.